Welcome back, host. Have a great show.
Oh, uno, dos, tres, cuatro. You see that black boy over there running scared. His old man in a bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5. He drink full time and now he's living in a bottle. See that black boy over there running scared. His old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. He ain't done pawned up damn near everything. His old woman away drink for bottle. And don't you think it's a crime when time after time after time people in a bottle? There's people living in the bottle.
Welcome to Freedom Friday. Here with Charles Butler on Red State Talk Radio. We are going to have Freedom Friday. What does that mean? It means you have an opportunity to call in and chat with us, and we'll hold it down, of course. We'll keep things moving right along. One of the things that we can talk about, I think, rightfully so, is all this hype about impeach. Everyone kind of forgets my old nemesis. Oh, here we go with the fire things. These guys, I tell you, I'm so glad I'm not a fireman. I don't know if I could take that siren every day. But anyway, the reality is everybody forgets about old Al Green. Al Green called for impeachment of Donald Trump from the time he was inaugurated. And I'm not talking about the singer Al Green. I'm talking about the Congressman Al Green from Texas. He went to Texas Southern Law School, and I always say that Texas Southern should revoke his law degree because he's an embarrassment to Texas Southern, to his congressional district, to the state of Texas, the United States Congress. He's an embarrassment, a buffoon. If there is a picture of a buffoon in a dictionary, it should have Al Green's picture. And I'm not talking about his skin color. This is not racial. This is purely by definition of buffoon and buffoonery. In order to impeach a president, certain criteria have to be met under Article 2. Primarily, you have to have high crimes and misdemeanors, bribery, or treason, none of which Mr. Trump has even come close to, in anyone's opinion. And that's the thing about it, anyone's opinion. By the way, you can call us. The lines are open at 215 867 8255. 215 867 8255. And we're broadcasting live on Facebook, Charles Butler Conservative, and Charles Butler 52 on YouTube. It's my YouTube channel. Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, I'm here. I see you out there. Thanks for tuning in. Call your friends, have them tune in. Let's see here. So we're out here broadcasting, man, doing our thing. It's always fun. Let's see. So Alan Schiff, this is a guy. I don't know if you said, Charles, there are two people that you could silence, that you could embarrass, that you could take out a little aggression on without any repercussion, without any fallback, feedback. Who would be? I can only think of two people: Adam Schiff and Stalway. Adam Stalway even tried to run for the presidency. He actually thought that someone would vote for him for president. Amazing, isn't it? Congressman. I mean, he thinks because he gets on TV and says a couple of crazy things that he's going to be the new rock star like Barack Obama. Please. This guy is from a district up in Alameda County that goes into part of Contra Costa County. Interesting. Amazing. Eric Swalwell. And he has some of the craziest, the craziest things to say. But I think, I talked about this yesterday, and I played this clip yesterday because it just epitomizes to me where Democrats are coming from because they have nowhere else to come from or to go. And you say, well, what's going on? Why? Here we are, Freedom Friday, 9/27, 2019. And we've been talking about the craziness of Al Green, Eric Stalwell, and Adam Schiff. These are people who are absolutely bonkers. Now Nancy Pelosi's jumped in the fray. Nancy Pelosi knows doggone well that she has no grounds to impeach President Trump on. But it sounds good. She doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell to impeach Donald Trump. Even if it gets through the House, which it wouldn't, the Senate has to sign off on it. It has to be tried in the Senate. Not going to happen. So this is purely an exercise in futility. This is an exercise in trying maybe to rally the base. But I doubt the base rallies because the base doesn't want to impeach Trump either. Things are going well for all Americans, despite our political affiliations. I think things are really going well for me. I just love what's going on. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I cannot tell you how happy I am that President Trump's in office and that he's doing some of the things that he's doing. Now, I am trying to see here. Let me open this file, see if these recordings went over. Yeah, they did. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to play Adam Schiff, and he got called out on this big lie. See, he really thought that he was going to get away with this. He thought that he was going to be able to poison the people's mind. See, there's this thing that's used in politics. This thing that's used by government, and it started with Woodrow Wilson. See, when people think that the Nazis were the major propagandists, programmers, Satanists, bad guys. No, it was actually Woodrow Wilson's administration. Woodrow Wilson had a system of elimination of his political opponents that were so vicious and vile. He put 125,000 Americans in prison. We don't talk about that. One day I'm going to do a big show on that and bring in a couple of historians to talk about that. But yeah, that really happened. So, but Schiff thought, okay, if I tell this lie, and this is what came out of the propaganda of World War I. If you tell a lie loud enough and long enough, the people will believe it, a la Barack Insane Obama. Oh, if you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance. And by the way, your insurance premiums are going to decrease by 120%. No, they increase by 300%. Some people are paying more for their health insurance premiums than they were for their mortgage payment and not making any more money because the economy was so bad. But that's what you get for electing a guy who never ran a Boy Scout troop or 7-Eleven, as I like to say, which Barack stole from me because I'd been saying that about him and his presidency forever. I just never liked the guy. Even when he'd just been elected to the state senate. You can always tell a weak dude. See, and people don't understand, women especially. They don't really differentiate between men and males. See, there are men which other men look at and say, well, that's a real man there. And there are males that we look at and say, well, it's just a dude or he's a sissy or whatever. You know, that's the way we play it as guys. And that's where we especially used to play it before we got politically correct. And so you have these little wimps who run up to you, and I can say anything to you because if you touch me, I'm going to call the police, and the police are going to arrest you because you beat me up because I called you and I hit you and I touched you and I did whatever. That's what happens to Charles Barkley. These guys would get up in Barkley's face or punch Barkley, and he'd run him down and beat the hell out of him, and they'd arrest Charles Barkley for defending himself. How crazy is that? This is a country that has gone totally out of control and bent over backwards for what? For little sissy men in this country. And the police are complicit in this BS. Okay. Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff and his lying on the president in the transcript. Let's play this real quick. Let's do it. Okay. Okay, come on. Hello. Maybe it's not playing.
President Zelensky, eager to establish himself at home as a friend of the president of the most powerful nation on earth, had at least two objectives: get a meeting with the president and get more military help. And so what happened on that call? Zelensky begins by ingratiating himself, and he tries to enlist the support of the president. He expresses his interest in meeting with the president and says his country wants to acquire more weapons from us to defend itself.
Okay, let's go to the transcript, which I have right here. I have the transcript. Charles, do you have the transcript? Yes, we have the transcript. We have the transcript right here, all 5 pages. And I had read this to the audience before, but so what Schiff is saying Zelensky supposed to have said is this is what he paraphrased. Zelensky said to President Trump, "You're absolutely right, Mr. President. We did win big and worked hard for this. We worked a lot, but I would like to confess to you that I had an opportunity to learn from you." That's the ingratiating that. Schiff is saying Zelensky paid to President Trump. Then Zelensky goes on to say, "We use quite a few of your skills and knowledge, and we're able to use it as an example for our elections. And yes, it is true that these were unique elections. We were in a unique situation, and we were able to, let's see, we were able to, number 2, page 2. Probably we were able to capitalize, but what does he say? He said we were able to achieve a unique success. He said, I am able to tell you the following for the first time. You called me to congratulate me when I won the presidential election, and the second time you are now calling me when my party won the parliamentary election. I think I should run more often so you can call me more often and we can talk over the phone more often. Now, small talk, right? Hey, hey, President Trump, thank you. We copied, your tactics, your strategy. We won. Thanks for congratulating me. Love to get back with you and hang out sometime. Okay. No quid pro quo here. Okay, everything's above board. These guys are laughing, and Trump's laughing. And it says here in the transcript, President Trump, laughter. That's a very good idea, he says. He says, I think your country is very happy about that. Well, yes, to tell you the truth, we're trying to work hard, as Zelensky says, because we want to drain the swamp here in our country. We brought in many new people, not old politicians, not the typical politicians, because we want to have a new format, a new government, a new type of government. You are a great teacher for us in that, says Zelensky. President Trump says, and we're gonna, so he's being nice. He's working with it. He's working with it, right? He's working with it, and he's doing his thing. He's like, he's working with the president. He's talking to the president, and trying to make sure that the president appreciates that he's doing his thing. And the president is clear. The president's very clear. So let's see here. Uh, okay. So so Zelensky goes on to say, um, well, yes, to tell you the truth, we're trying to work very hard, bring new people on. Okay, so now let's pick up Adam Schiff, because now you heard what Schiff said, and I read to you what is in the transcript. Let's go back to Schiff.
And what is the president's response? Well, it reads like a classic organized crime shakedown.
Ukraine is the
Shorn of its rambling character and in not so many words, this is the essence of what the president communicates. We've been very good to your country, very good. No other country has done as much as we have. But you know what? I don't see much reciprocity here. I hear what you want. I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it. On this and on that, I'm going to put you in touch with people, not just any people. I'm going to put you in touch with Attorney General of the United States, my Attorney General, Bill Barr. He's got the whole weight of the American law enforcement behind him.
Okay, that's a lie. Trump never said, I want you to dig up dirt on my political opponent. He never said anything about digging up anything. He did say, I want you to do me a favor. But this is in this context. And Trump didn't say anything about uh, uh, reciprocity. He didn't say anything about we wanted to be repaid in any kind of way for supporting the Ukrainian people. He didn't say that, but he did talk about how he spoke to Angela Merkel and said, Angela, you need to help Ukraine more. You need to spend more money with Ukraine and helping us with Ukraine. And President Zelensky says, yes, you're absolutely right. Not only 100%, but actually 1,000%. He said, I can tell you the following. I did talk to Angela Merkel. And I did meet with her. I also met and talked with Macron, the French president. And he said, and I told them that they were not doing quite as much as they need to be doing on the issues with the sanctions. They were not enforcing the sanctions. Of course, they're not enforcing the sanctions. Germany and France are benefiting economically from the U.S. not doing business with Russia. They're filling that void. Small void for us. I mean, we're so big. I mean, we could care less. But for them, it's big bucks. So this is what's going on. And then President Zelensky goes on and he criticizes the European Union. He said, the European Union could do more also. And I've told them that. And then, lastly, in this paragraph, Zelensky says, we are ready to continue to cooperate for the next step specifically, where we are almost ready to buy more javelins. Those are defense missiles from the United States for defensive purposes. Now, that's what the president from Ukraine says, not President Trump. He didn't say, I want you to buy more missiles. And if you don't buy more missiles, we're not going to help you. We're going to hold up your aid. That's not, none of that happened. You know, I mean, these people are making up things. You listen to MSNBC, they're lying. You listen to CNN, they're lying. The Ukrainian government comes out and says, well, we didn't know they had held up our military funding for months and until after it was done because we got what we needed. We didn't know that there was ever a hold on our funding. But let CNN and MSNBC pundits tell it, it's, you know, they were threatened and they were afraid if they didn't cooperate with the president. They're lying. They're lying. They remind me of this Amber Guy in the police woman down in Dallas. She's lying. She shot this man in cold blood, probably because he was playing his music too loud or singing too much or singing too loud. She shot his big black behind and let him die. She never tried to render aid. So we'll get to that later. That's another story altogether. So, but this is important. This is important that we understand that MSNBC, CNN, ABC, NBC, Bloomberg, all of these people are lying when they say that the Ukraine and the Ukrainian officials were threatened that if they did not cooperate with the president, that he was going to pull their funding. He said, we didn't know that they had held the funding up. We didn't know anything about it. That's what the Ukrainian government says. But we know best. We know better. I've been through that routine before where, you know, these people think that they can read your mind. And that always, you know, my first question to people who say to me, I know what you're thinking. I know how you think. And you know what I always say to them? Have you ever been called the N-word? And they go, of course not. I said, well, then how in the hell would you ever know what I'm thinking or what my life is like or anything about me? We live in two different worlds. I live in your world, but you can't imagine what it's like living in mine. And they have to stop and think because they know that their world, to me, is a world of perception. My world, on the other hand, is a world of reality. The reality is you can be pulled over and stopped by a police officer and shot during a traffic stop because you had a cell phone that looked like a muzzle flash. Now, what kind of bullshit is that? But that's what happens to black folks all the time. And it's not only white cops shooting black people, it's black cops shooting black people. So blue is blue as far as I'm concerned. I don't look at the color. I look at the results. And I can tell you we have good white cops. We have good black cops. We have good Latino cops. We have good Asian cops. But some of these cops are just totally out of control, regardless of their ethnicity. And they need to be held accountable. That's my only thing. Hold them accountable. Charles Butler, people make mistakes. Just like Amber Guy, she made a big, big mistake. And we'll get to that soon. But here's this guy, Adam Schiff, who is the chairman. He's not a member of the committee. He's the chairman of the committee, and he's lying on what the president said and what the transcript said. He's lying what the transcript said, and he's making up things, and he's passing it off as fact, as quotes, as truth, until he gets called out on it. But is he called out on it on MSNBC? No, I looked on MSNBC yesterday. I didn't see it. They didn't say, well, Adam Schiff has a parody on Donald Trump and President Zelensky's transcript. No, they didn't say that. They just let it run. Because that's what they do. They try to brainwash you. They tell the lie over and over and over again, and it sticks. Because I will go to the barber shop tomorrow. I'll go to the barbershop tomorrow. My barbershop. I love my barbershop. These guys are great. Guy who has the barbershop is called Farrell, and Farrell just does a good job. He has great people, great barbers, great customers, and these people will believe what Adam Schiff said because that's the way they communicate. And he communicated to them on their level and a way that they would remember and that they could take home. Okay. And none of it's true. Okay. So let's go back to Adam Schiff.
And I'm going to put you in touch with Rudy. You're going to love him. Trust me. You know what I'm asking. And so I'm only going to say this a few more times in a few more ways. And by the way, don't call me again. I'll call you when you've done what I asked. This is, in character, what the president was trying to communicate with the president of Ukraine. It would be funny if it wasn't such a graphic portrayal of the president's oath of office. But as it does represent a real betrayal, there's nothing the president says here that is in America's interest, after all. It is instead the most consequential form of tragedy, for it forces us to confront the remedy the founders provided for such a flagrant abuse of office: impeachment.
There he goes. We're going to impeach him based on the lies I just told. We're going to impeach him based on the lies I just told. That's what the founding fathers did. They gave us the ability to impeach a sitting president based on lies. Come on. Are we supposed to be stupid? I mean, really? But he says these lies over and over again. And by the way, if you don't do what I tell you to do, we're going, come on. Really? I mean, is Trump supposed to be that stupid? I love it. I love it. You can't make this stuff up. I'm serious, people. You can't make this stuff up. And if you did, no one would believe you. No one would believe that, as Trump said, I know people are listening, so why would I say some things that were inappropriate? What he did was to ask this president to look into and investigate Joe Biden and to find out what happened to the former prosecutor. He said, I heard he'd gotten a bad deal, a bad rap. That's what the president said. Then the president was right. The former prosecutor had gotten a bad rap. And by the way, the biggest lie in this whole thing is Schiff saying that I'm going to introduce you to Secretary Attorney General Barr. He has the full weight of the American government behind him, and I'm going to introduce you to my guy Rudy Giuliani. You really like? No, that's not what happened. President Zelensky brought up Giuliani and said, "My people have been meeting with him." Let's just keep it real. Let's just tell the truth. So, the I guess the Ukraine had this woman ambassador, and she didn't like Trump. She didn't like the fact that Trump was elected because, Hillary should have been elected. We should have had a woman running America. Well, we had a half black guy running America. See how that worked out. Next time, get a whole black man to run America, not a half black man who grew up in Indonesia and can't even throw a baseball. How can you become president and you can't throw a baseball? You didn't grow up in America. That is so damn racist, isn't it? But it's true. It's true. The guy grew up in Indonesia. His name was Barry Soetoro. It's on his official school records. If you go back and look at my school records, it says Charles Butler, Mark Twain Elementary School. Charles Butler, James Madison Junior High School. Charles Butler, Butch Butler, Pontiac Northern High School. University of Michigan, Charles Butler. University of Southern Cal, Charles Butler. Barry Soetoro, i.e., Barack Insane Obama, whose names he went by. This guy applied to college to Occidental as a foreign student. I'm not lying. That is the truth. The guy's a shyster. Totally a slackert, as we would call them. A slackert. Ah. That's the way we used to handle things, Donald. It's call people exactly what they are and who they are. So, this is good. This is good. So, when President Trump on page 3, he asks Zelensky, he says, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. I would like you to find out what happened with this whole situation with the Ukraine. They say CrowdStrike. I guess you have one of your wealthy people, the server. They said Ukraine has it. Yeah, the CrowdStrike was owned by a Ukrainian guy working with Hillary Clinton and Comey and all those people. There are a lot of things that went on in that whole situation, and I want to get to the bottom. He said, I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have the attorney general call you and your people, and I would like you to get to the bottom of it. As you saw yesterday, and that's to the bottom of this whole Russian collusion, this whole dossier, the Steele dossier, all this stuff. Ukraine was involved in all that with Hillary Clinton and Comey and John Kerry. And this thing has to go back up to Barack Obama, because we know that the Brennan and I won't even mention the other guy's name, but Brennan. These guys were so anti-Trump and never Trumper the intelligence community. So this guy who's a whistleblower, guess where he comes from? The intelligence community. He doesn't even have the information. He never saw the information. He got all the information secondhand. But he assumed, took it upon himself to say that this is a national security issue and the president should be impeached for treason. Well, Bill Clinton wasn't impeached for selling missile guidance technology to China, giving China the WTO after he got campaign contributions. Bringing all these Chinese students into America to steal our secrets. So the President Trump was very clear that he wanted Barr to call the president and his people or your people. And he said, we'll work this out. We'll get to the bottom of it. And Zelensky said that he thought it was very important for me and everything you just mentioned earlier. For me as the president, it's very important that we are open for any future cooperation. We are ready to open a new page in cooperation and relationships between the United States and Ukraine, one that's not filled with corruption, one that's not filled with threats. What did Joe Biden say? Hey, you got 6 hours to fire that dude, or you won't get that $1 billion loan. I didn't say it. Joe Biden said it. And then Adam Schiff, did Adam Schiff do a parody on Joe Biden? No. It's a rhetorical question. I mean, Biden is very clear. They have the guy on tape saying, hey, if you don't fire this guy.
I remember going over convincing our team or others to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said, I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Wow. How about that? They put in place someone who was solid. Solid for whom? Let's listen to this one more time. This is good.
I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out the press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion.
I said, call him. Like President Obama already knows. Call him and see if what I said isn't true, that you are not going to get the $1 billion. It's over. Fire this dude or no $1 billion loan guarantee. Simple. It's not rocket scientist stuff, dudes. You got 6 hours. He's looking at his watch. You got 6 hours.
And I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was 6 hours. I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Yeah, but solid by whose standards? By Joe Biden's standards? Well, they didn't interview old Hunter, the cokehead. Now, do you think Charles Butler could get $1 billion being a cokehead, to manage $1 billion? I know you could probably put together 5 or 6 very credible black investment bankers. They can't get $1 billion collectively to manage. And these are seasoned professionals. Hello. And Hunter, he just happens to be the vice president's son, and he's a cokehead. He got kicked out of the Marine Corps because of drugs. Wow. See, they just don't kick you out. When they discover that you don't pass a drug test, they try to work with you. The fact that this guy got busted out means he'd been busted before he was habitual. He had some real problems. That's what that meant. So I'm just sitting here and it's just tripping me out, man. I'm just kicking it. I'm like, hey, this is so anyway, Giuliani's going over there and Schiff lied on the president, and Schiff continues to lie. So let's fast forward. Now, I want to hear Stallworth, Representative Stallworth. We're going to do Stallworth and his exchange, his thoughts about the transcript, because he really gave McGuire a hard time.
Good morning, John. And it's a national nightmare that we are in the midst of. We have presidential extortion, essentially, and an ongoing cover-up. And I say ongoing as an active way to describe what's going on. I think you saw yesterday with the acting director who, not to question his honor at all, but just the folks that he went to and the lengths they went to stop Congress from seeing this information, the White House and the Department of Justice, I think shows the American people what we're up against and getting the information we need.
You said that there is a cover-up. In what way?
Well, the whistleblower described and the White House acknowledged just moments ago today that after this phone call, the transcripts with the Ukrainian president, which were in an open system that White House employees could access, were moved into a top secret covert action system, which is not to be used for political reasons or to protect.
But who's to claim is political reasons? Here is a political hack. This is a boy who doesn't know anything about security, doesn't know anything about intelligence. All he's doing is talking. They think that Americans are entitled. No, Americans aren't entitled to all our secrets. The average American can't handle what we do as a country. And so, what does Stalwart try to do yesterday, which really kind of ticked me off, but that's easy for this guy to do. As I said before, if I could get away with punching him in the nose, I certainly would.
The justice opinion you relied upon said that you are not responsible for preventing foreign election interference. Is that right? That was in the opinion.
What the also legal counsel did was over 11 pages.
No, they said
opinion defining and explaining their justification for it not complying with urgent.
Are you responsible for preventing election interference?
Election interference
by a foreign government?
Congressman, election interference.
I hope you know this answer is yes or no. Are you responsible for preventing election interference?
My election interference is.
Boy, I really hope you know the answer.
Priority in the intelligence community.
Is it your priority though?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this complaint also alleges a shakedown with a foreign government by the United States president involving a rogue actor, as Mr. Quigley pointed out, who has no clearance, no authority under the United States, and an effort by the White House to move the transcript of this call to a secret system. Is that right? That's at least what's alleged.
Congressman, I believe that election security is my most fundamental priority. However, this complaint focused on a conversation by the president with another foreign leader, not election security.
See how they try to convolute things? Stalwell tried to trick McGuire into lying for him, and McGuire wasn't going for it. He said, no. We're talking about a conversation between two presidents here, which is usually under executive privilege. And so what did the president from El Salvador say yesterday when he was asked, would he talk openly and freely to President Trump? He said, I don't think so. I mean, anyone with any sense would have to respond that way. Don't you agree? Yeah. Well, see, my kind of guy, my real hero is Tom Homan. I love Tom Homan. He's the former chief for ICE. And he just gets down to the real nitty gritty. I don't know if you remember that song, Get Right Down to the Real Nitty Gritty Now. This dude, man, he was tearing the person who was overseeing the hearing, he was tearing her up. He said, hey, you work for me. Listen to this. This is Holman before Congress.
Children are dying. Cartels are getting rich. Why am I angry? Because you haven't done anything to fix it. Nothing. There's no downside on securing our border. There's no downside on illegal immigration being decreased. There's no downside unless drugs come to this country.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time. And you let other people go beyond their time, but not,
Mr. Holman.
But you work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Whoa. Joining us right now is Fox News contributor, retired ICE.
Wow. That was powerful. You work for me. You let other people go over their time. And I ask you politely, I love it. See, that's the way you have to deal with these people. I remember when I used to work at WVON and love working for VON, love the audience, love the Chicagoland audience. And people would say all the time, they go, they'd call in and they would call me names and I'd call them names. They call me Uncle Tom and say, your mama and Uncle Tom, your daddy and Uncle Tom, whatever, didn't make me any difference. But, the thing is, if you don't fight back, and that's the thing I often point out, Nixon didn't fight back with the press. He tried to be presidential and it cost him his presidency because he didn't take on these reporters and he didn't take on the lies in the media. So the lies became the truth. The perceptions became reality. So Charles Butler, this is a Butlerism. I have a Butlerism. This is what I live by. I never allow others' perceptions to become my reality. Does that make sense? I never allow others' perception to become my reality. Now, Wow. Yesterday, a gentleman caught up in this college scandal. Man named Stephen Semprevio. He paid $400,000 to get his son into Georgetown University as a phony tennis recruit. He was sentenced to 4 months in prison. Now, check this out. Georgetown's not giving the money back. USC didn't give the money back. None of these schools gave the money back that these people spent to get into these various schools. That's what people are talking about. Rick Stinger, or William Stinger, what they call him Rick, the 10 selective university that were identified as potential recipients of tainted money have diverged over the question what to do about the money now. So far, the answer is very little. so these people, these schools have kept the cash. Seriously, these schools have kept the cash, man. It's funny. USC said that because of the ongoing U.S. Department of Justice investigation, we're unable to discuss the details related to the money. Is that a parody? Because that's not what they said, really. They said we're unable to discuss the details related to it, meaning the money. But I added the money. See, I tell you, these Democrats are starting to rub off on me, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I can get a few more dates, because when you tell people if they perceive that you're conservative, they go, "Oh my God, he's a conservative." Oh, he wants to put me back in. He wants to put me back in chains. He wants to take me back to slavery. And what Joe Biden said. Joe Biden said they want to put y'all back in chains. Oh, God. Oh, man. Good thing it's Freedom Friday, man. I can just crack up about this stuff. It is too damn funny. Woo. So, let's see here. I'm so glad I don't have Dish. They took NFL football off. I'm done with that. They said the complaint unread by some. So I've been running around this morning, said Ohio Senator Rob Portman. He didn't have time to read the whistleblower complaint. People aren't paying any attention to this stuff, man. It's like, hey, we're done. We're not going to vote on it. It's not going anywhere. It's a sham. I have other things to do. I have other things to spend my time on. Nancy Pelosi said she opened an official impeachment inquiry. And most people have no idea what that even means. So they're going around saying they're going to impeach the president. No, it's an inquiry, stupid. That's a long way from impeachment. Real long way. But she did it to appease the extreme left wing of her party. She did it to appease AOC, Talib, Omar, and the chick from Minnesota. I can't come up with her name. Oh, no, she's from Pennsylvania. Can't come up with her name. Black chick. So, hello. Sorry about that. I'm smoking my cigar. So, the complaint's not going anywhere. People haven't read the whistleblower complaint. Few people read the transcript, but after they read the transcript, they said, the hell with reading the complaint. There's no there. Why don't we talk about the strike in Michigan? And they're talking about the strike dinging the Michigan economy. Hey, GM needs to pay up. Ford needs to pay up. These people, we bailed them out. They made billions of dollars in profit, and they still don't want to pay the workers. Pay these people. Pay these people. I'm sorry. No CEO is worth $50 million. No. I don't care who he or she is. Not even. So pay those people. Let them get back to work. Let them get ready for Christmas, because Christmas is right around the corner. Let's see. We got this is 25th today. So you got October 25th, November 25th. So we got 60 days out for Thanksgiving. So we're 90 days out, man. 90 days out for Christmas again. Don't you love it? Instagram economy. Wow. Okay. So anyway, I'm just kind of thumbing through the paper here. I kind of gone through it this morning, kind of loosely before my workout. Oh, a star is born. Renee Zellweger. She certainly looks different since she had that facelift. She looks so different. She still looks good though. She's cute. She's a cutie pie. But you know, I saw something that was really terrifying, and I'm very serious about this. And that was that lady who had her face transplanted. She her transplant is wearing off. Her transplant is wearing off. And it is really horrible, man. The breakdown. I'm like, damn. I mean, it's like something like out of the mummy, you know? I mean, her face is just literally melting. Oh boy. Colleges go to court over a donor's intent. Well, we're not going to talk about that today. And I hope, and I'm not going to talk about Brexit today, even though my man is handling. That Boris Johnson, he's handling, man. He's, he's in there, doing his thing. He's smiling, he's wheeling and dealing, and he's going to get Brexit done in spite of the bureaucrats, in spite of the politicians, in spite of the globalists. He's like, we're leaving by hook or crook. We're leaving. So sue me. We'll leave, then sue me. Okay? I love it, man. You can't make this stuff up. Can't make it up. Even if you wanted to. You can't make it up. So, what we're going to do, we got about, looks like we have about a minute and a half. And I just wanted to say that I'm glad the economy's ticking along. Stock market's up today. It's down yesterday, 300 points. It's back. It's on the way up. Let me see how far up it has gone, actually. Let's see, stock market. Where is the stock market today? It's 2 o'clock over there. Market's getting ready to close in about 90 minutes. Let's see here, stock market. Let's see, what is it going to do here? What is it going to give me? Stock market. News. We'll go stock market news. Da da da. Da 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 da. Let's see. See, stock market slides. That was 2 hours ago. This is an hour to hour, kind of minute to minute thing. Kramer should be doing our investors a favor if he cut U.S. investments. Trump would be doing our investors a favor if he cut off U.S. investments in China. That's what I'm saying. That's why I love Donald Trump. Quarles says the economy is solid despite the uncertainty around the U.S. trade policy. Well, the trade policy is we're going to put America first. We're going to stop doing business with China. We're going to stop building China up. We're going to let them go belly up. They can be in Africa all they want. They still have to sell that junk to somebody, and we're not buying. Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. It's the way to be. It's the way we have to go. So, but they said that some consumers are really starting to worry about the trade war. Consumers don't worry. We're in good hands. We'll be okay. We're America. We're Americans. And I just want to say, God bless you. God bless America. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Hope we had a little fun. Hope we gave you something to think about. But remember, don't be brainwashed by these lies that are told loud and long, much like Hitler and Goebbels did during World War II, the work up to World War II. Okay? Dun, dun, dun.
Uno, dos.
Uno, dos.
Tres, cuatro. You see that black boy over there running? running scared. His old man in a bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5. He drink full time and now he's living in a bottle. See that black boy